prolific offense, you have a chance to win all kind of games. Now, I'll tell you this, when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, some things that they got to correct. They got to get that offensive line correct, right? They got to get right and on the same page when it comes to protections. And quite frankly, I think if Justin Fields is their quarterback, because Swagoo, you said earlier that Nick Foles was running for his life. Now you have a dual threat quarterback back there that can probably get away from some of that pressure and make some plays for this offense. And they're prolific. When you look at their skill positions, right, they have two solid tight ends. You have Cole Kmet, you have Jimmy Graham. Look at the wide receiver positions. You have a number one guy, Allen Robinson, and then you have Moody. Not to mention now, you got one of the fastest receivers in football in Marquise Goodwin. And hey, two solid running backs. I think Justin Fields can take this team to compete against the Packers in the North.
Yeah,
Marcus.
Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to the debut, HD, because we got to kill you right now, bro. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Are you kidding me? Like, this defense, one, was ravaged with injury. And you talk about D lineman. Danielle Hunter is coming back. I think he's the most underrated pass rusher in the NFL when we start talking about that. The moves that have been made in Minnesota have, and I said this, Max, you know, I said this a couple of weeks ago. Like, I'm not sure that the Green Bay Packers just run away with this division based on what transpired in Minnesota this offseason. Mike Zimmer acknowledged that his defense was bad. And that's something that I'm not going to attach to Mike Zimmer more than 1 year, right? The injury bug got him, but Mike Zimmer is not going to feel the bad defense this year for the Minnesota Vikings. And then when we get to the other side, see, here's the thing, Harry. Here's your initiation. All of that stuff you just talked about with Chicago, that's hope. That's hoping all of that stuff works out. You know what I know? I know Dalvin Cook is a top 5 back in the league. I know Justin Jefferson is one of the more prolific young wide receivers in the league. I know Adam Thielen is an elite level performer in the NFL. I expect and know, based on what I watched last year, that Irv Smith, the tight end, is going to have a big year. I know that everybody kills Kirk Cousins, but everybody doesn't look at what Kirk Cousins does on a year-in, year-out basis. And that's ball out of his mind, to be honest with you. We get on Kirk about certain moments. But he did go to New Orleans and win a playoff game with a last-second throw with a last possession drive to Rudolph to win that playoff game. The Minnesota Vikings, even with Aaron Rodgers, even without all of this turmoil that went on this offseason, were going to be a contender in this division. That is the challenge to the Green Bay Packers, and that is what's going to happen. It's going to come down to those two teams.
Hold on, Harry, because you're both wrong. It's not Minnesota. Because I don't trust Kirk Cousins in big games and in the playoffs. I don't trust.
I know this,
Harry. It's not Chicago because Chicago's had the defense you've been describing for a couple of years now. They can't get it done because they don't have the right guy under center. Andy Dalton's not that guy. Justin Fields probably will be. I'm high on Justin Fields. I thought he was a steal in the draft. No rookie quarterback, first-year starter, has ever been to a Super Bowl, right? There's a reason for that. I know we're just talking about the division. You're going to have to win a lot of games to push these Packers, who won't be the underdogs till Week 9 at Kansas City. They got an outstanding secondary. They got a good enough front seven. They got skills positions, and Aaron freaking Rodgers, reigning MVP. No, it's not the Lions either, Marcus. Are you crazy? You think I'm going to say it's Detroit? Of course it's not. The answer is there is no threat to the Packers in the NFC North. None of these teams are going to threaten the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is going to be on a mission this year. They went to 2 consecutive NFC championship games. They're going to be better than they were last year.
Now, listen, Marcus, I got to address you. My question for you, Marcus, do you believe in Kirk Cousins? Do you believe in Kirk Cousins to be that guy to take that team to a Super Bowl? You do.
I believe Kirk Cousins is good enough to play and win his division. We ain't talking about the Super Bowl, Harry. We talking about the team that's going to challenge the Packers in the North. That's what we talking about.
Okay, so
the Minnesota
let me ask you
Vikings
this.
Are the best suited team to challenge them.
Let me ask you this. In the last 3 years, when Kirk Cousins came to the Minnesota Vikings, how many times have they been to the playoffs?
Once.
How many times has the Chicago Bears been to the playoffs? Twice.
I think twice, if I'm not
Twice
mistaken.
with bad quarterback play. So if Justin Fields is under center and he gives this offense a boost, what make you think that the Chicago Bears wouldn't challenge the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings? I don't understand that. Help me understand that part.
Because Harry, I have no earthly idea how the quarterbacks are going to play for the Chicago Bears. I do know how Kirk Cousins is going to play based on what I've watched him do. And you know what Kirk Cousins has done? He's played well enough to keep his team in games and in contention. Like, I know it's easy. It is so easy to point at Kirk Cousins and say, Kirk Cousins is the issue. That's a lie. The issue for the Minnesota Vikings last year was defense. They bring in Patrick Peterson. They get Harrison back. They get Daniil Hunter back off of injury. They add to that defensive line. It's defense for the Minnesota Vikings, and they will be better. Offensively, we've all acknowledged that Minnesota offensively can play with most people in the league. You're hoping that the Chicago Bears have success. I know the Vikings will have success.
Hit C above C with that one. Boy, your voice went way up high on that one. Lie detector.
Because I got to emphasize to my man. I got to emphasize to my man.
Look, I'm going to help you both out. If you built a time machine and put Justin Fields 2 years in the future and then put him on the Vikings, now you can challenge the Packers. These teams ain't challenging no Packers. Look at the Packers schedule.
This dude, bro.
They're going to wind up with maybe 3 losses this year, something like that. Aaron Rodgers is going to be on a mission.
I don't believe in the Packers defense, Max. I don't believe in the Packers defense like that.
Well, it may not be top third of the league, but it's going to be close. Like, their front seven is solid. Their secondary's excellent. Alexander might be the best dude in the business. He's one of them. That's not like that's going to be at worst the middle of the pack defense.
Who has a better defense? Does the Bears have a better defense, or does the Packers have a better defense?
Bears. That's what they hang their hat on. Their defense.
You know this. If you have
Max,
a solid defense, you have a chance. Right or wrong?
Sure, but the Bears have had the same chance the last 3 years. And if you think a rookie
quarterback
is going to be the difference, I like Justin Fields a lot. There's not going to be a rookie quarterback you put on the Bears and suddenly they're as good as the Packers. They got Aaron Rodgers had the best season of his career last year. He's the reigning MVP.
I want the team with the improved defense and the offense that I know can go toe-to-toe with majority of the offense in the NFL.
And you, Marcus, with Kirk Cousins. Look,
that's the Minnesota Vikings.
Kirk Cousins,
at some point, Kirk Cousins is going to mess it up.
God, bro.
Yeah, just because you choked a lot in the past doesn't mean you're always going to choke. That's true. You're right about that. Kirk Cousins has shown signs of turning that around. He finally won a primetime game. Then he won a playoff game. But, my man, this dude has been in the league a long time. Why do you think it took so long for him, so many bites at the apple, to win in prime time, to win in the playoff? Does he have some issues with that? Is the whole less than the sum of its parts with Cousins? Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers is the opposite of that.
Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, I have to go with Max on this one. And no one cares about any of the rest of the division. Aaron Rodgers is the man. Last year, he posted an 84.3 QBR. That is the third highest
ever
in history since ESPN started tracking since 2006.
And they got a good enough defense.
The only two above him, Tom Brady and my guy Peyton Manning. So look, it's all about Aaron Rodgers this season. Harry, you're sticking with us. Let's keep it moving, guys.
If we're not answering the question, then we could have just went past this. I'm sorry. Max don't want to answer the question.
The debate is over. Guys, we're moving on. Calvin Ridley gets a chance to shine this season with Julio now on the Titans. We're asking former NFL wideout Mr. Harry